What's up, guys? Welcome back down to the wire. It's that time of the week again. This time it's week 5. I'm going to go through my picks this week. As always, I always start on the first game of Sunday. I don't do Thursday Night Football, so if you were a Rams fan or a Seattle fan, tough luck. Alright, the first game we got this week is the Jets at Eagles. Eagles just took down one of the best emerging defenses in the league with an offense led by Aaron Rodgers. And this week they're playing a team whose starting QB is out with mono, whose second-string QB is out with a season-ending leg injury, and are now starting Luke Falk. I'm going to take the Eagles and Carson Wentz by a fair margin in this game. Next, we got the Jaguars at Panthers. This is going to be one of the most interesting QB matchups in the NFL this week. Rookie phenomenon and future GOAT, Gardner Minshew, is taking the NFL by storm completely. And second-year QB Kyle Allen has caused the transition of power from Cam Newton to himself to go down seamlessly. More seamlessly than I could have ever imagined. While Gardner Minshew looks to be the second coming, the rest of his team is simply worse than the Panthers, and I have to go with the Panthers for that. Next, we get the Giants at Vikings. I have been saying since the Vikings put the ink to the dotted line that giving Kirk Cousins $84 million fully guaranteed was simply asinine. Kirk Cousins' agent, let's just be real for a second. Kirk Cousins' agent is the most talented person in all of sports. How he was able to get this contract and then the 2 years before get franchise tagged twice is beyond me. I can't fathom it, but hey, that man is getting paid and he deserves everything that comes his way. No matter how undeserving this contract is, the Vikings are just simply better than Daniel Jones. This is going to be Daniel Jones' biggest test so far. So I think Daniel Jones is going to put up a good game? Yes. But this Vikings team is just a little too good for me to go against the Giants, albeit they're getting Golden Tate back. I'm still going to roll with the Vikings here. Next, Falcons at Texans. I still stand by what I said about Matt Ryan being one of the most consistent QBs in the league. The Falcons, on the other hand, are completely unpredictable. They beat the Eagles, but besides that, they've lost their other 3 games. The Texans have had one of the most difficult schedules in the league so far and have gone a respectable 2-2. I think the Texans are going to come out early and surprise the spread and put the Falcons away early. Next, Buccaneers at Saints. The Saints have been playing like a top 5 team in the league, even in the absence of Hall of Famer Drew Brees. Last week, they won a hard-fought victory against the Cowboys, and while the Bucs got an impressive win over the Rams didn't look anything and haven't looked anything like the playoff team that was in the Super Bowl or before that. Let's just be real with ourselves. Todd Gurley does not look right. That arthritis in the knee is a lot more serious than what the Rams are letting on, and I think it might be time for them to attempt to trade or simply cut ties with them in general. Next, Bills at Titans. The Bills are legit. The Bills they have been one of the most consistently underrated front offices in the league, and a QB with a friggin' cannon for an arm. There's young talent all around, and they're playing a Titans team whose quarterback I don't trust, and in my opinion, they are simply the worst team. I'm going with the Bills here. Next, Cardinals at Bengals. John Ross has quietly been one of the best receivers in the league so far, and now he's on IR. Andy Dalton has been putting up impressive numbers, but don't let that fool you. He's still Andy Dalton. The Bengals are 0-4, and the Cardinals have at least a tie. Kyler Murray has been looking good considering the atrocious O-line he's been playing with, and I'm going to go with Arizona. Next, Redskins and Patriots. Jay Gruden has one foot out the door and the other on a banana peel. He has a report came out saying that he reportedly didn't want Dwayne Haskins and wanted to take Daniel Jones as the reason why the Giants took Daniel Jones at 6 was to simply screw over the Redskins, and that Daniel Snyder made Jay Gruden draft Dwayne Haskins. This is a team riddled with injuries, QB controversy. They're not starting Dwayne Haskins this week. A coach out the door versus the Patriots, one of the best defenses in the league, in my opinion, the best. The greatest quarterback ever and the greatest coach ever. This is going to be a slaughter. You can book it right here. Patriots are going to win by over 20. Next up, we got the Raiders versus the Steelers. I'm not going to lie. The way the Ravens played against the Browns team last week concerned me. But what concerned me even more was the leash the Steelers have put around Mason Rudolph's neck and the way they've been yanking on it. They had literally no faith in this kid whatsoever against the Bengals. No faith at all. It was the most conservative play calling I've ever seen from the Steelers in my history of watching them. It was dink and dunk, not let this kid do anything besides take no risk whatsoever. That is not going to fly in the NFL, specifically today, where the long and intermediate pass game is deadly and necessary for a team to be good in this league. The Ravens, they've had one bad game. The Steelers have had many. I'm going with the Ravens. Next, Bears versus Raiders. Raiders pulled off the victory against the Colts last week, and Bears pulled off the victory against the Vikings. Bears didn't come out of that fully unscathed. They lost Mitchell Trubisky. Yes, I have been riding the Mitchell Trubisky hate bandwagon for a long time now. In fact, I've been driving it. And now they have Chase Daniels. I'm not going to sit up here and say Chase Daniels is better than Mitchell Trubisky. I'm not completely brain dead. But, I mean, is this going to set them back a lot? I don't think it's going to set them back as much as you think. They're still going to take a hit here, but I think I'm going to have an upset here. I think I'm going to go with the Raiders. I think the Raiders are going to pull this off. I think Derek Carr is going to rally this team that has been more impressive than I thought this year. They have exceeded my expectations so far. It's not saying a lot. My expectations were extraordinarily low for this team because I hate John Gruden, and I feel like the publicity and just the media attention that he demands is not worth his signing, especially when you consider the $100 million guaranteed he's getting. But I'm gonna go with an upset here. I'm going with the Raiders. Next up, we got the Chargers and the Broncos. The Broncos came away from last week losing Bradley Chubb to an ACL injury, the same one that he received in high school to date, down to the same day, month, everything. The Chargers are getting back Melvin Gordon. Yes, Austin Eckler has been spectacular so far. He's filled in that role seamlessly. But Melvin Gordon, let's just face it, Melvin Gordon is a better back than him. And while the Chargers are gaining, and the Chargers still look to be a possible playoff contender, the Broncos, it's safe to say, are far from playoff contention and are out of it. I'm going with the Chargers here. Next up, we got my game of the week. Packers taking on the Cowboys in Jerry World. The Cowboys are coming off a very, very disappointing loss to the Saints. Yes, it was a close game. Still, the hype that the Cowboys were getting did not live up to what they actually were. I was afraid it was going to happen as a Cowboys fan, and it wound up happening. They were out game planned, and they can simply not let that happen this week. Both teams are coming off of losses. Packers lost to the Eagles last week, and Cowboys lost to the Saints. Both teams are looking to get some momentum back here. It's going to be a very, very good game. These Cowboys-Packers games, are in the regular season especially, are always shootouts. But let's just be real for a second. Dak Prescott has outplayed Aaron Rodgers statistically every time they've met in the regular season. And I'd go as far to say in the playoffs as well. Dak Prescott, for some reason against the Packers, always has very good individual games. And let's also look at this. Ezekiel Elliott is not going to be happy with the performance he put up against the Saints. He is going to come for retribution this game. But we're looking at a little bit of divide here. The Cowboys, the Cowboys team, they just want to win. They just want to do everything it takes to win. And what that seems like on paper is to put it in Zeke's stomach and tell him to run. Dak, on the other hand, he wants that contract. And do you blame him? He's getting $2 million. Everybody else around him is getting 15 to 20. He's been getting nothing since entering the league. All of his money he's making is basically off advertisements. And thank God he's a Cowboys quarterback, because that's the most marketable position practically in all sports. He wants his money, and I would not be surprised if Dak Prescott ad-libs a crap ton this game and has a very good individual performance. But as for the winner of the game, it's going to be a very close game. Packers defense is stout against the pass, not so stout against the run. I have a feeling the Cowboys are going to override. I think Kellen Moore, Jason Garrett are going to override Dak, and I think they're going to stick the ball into Zeke's stomach, tell Zeke to just run it up the gut, run. I think the Cowboys are going to take it in a very close game. I'm going with the Cowboys. Next, we have the Colts and Chiefs. Chiefs look like the one or two best team in the league. The stuff Patrick Mahomes does is absolutely incredible. All joking aside, I say Gardner Minshew is the second coming. I'm obviously just doing it as a joke. But Patrick Mahomes, there's no sophomore slump. There's nothing. No team is figuring him out because he's impossible to figure out. I said Josh Allen's got a cannon for an arm. It makes it look like a BB gun. Patrick Mahomes is a monster. I have never seen anybody with such pure talent. Since watching football this closely, I wasn't old enough to see Manning start. I wasn't old enough to watch Brett Favre in his prime. But watching Patrick Mahomes, he looks like one of the great ones. He looks like somebody that I'm gonna look, if I ever have kids, and look at him and say, yeah, I watched Patrick Mahomes play. He looks like that type of talent. And it's only his second year starting. Andy Reid's a quarterback guru. And that Chiefs team is just good all around, except for defense, because that secondary needs some goddamn help. The Colts, with Jacoby Brissett, like I said, he proved me wrong. He's a starting quarterback in the league. He ain't no Patrick Mahomes. He's not even close. There's not many people in the league that are close. The only person that is playing skill-wise near Patrick Mahomes is Russell Wilson, and for some reason people doubt him, and I just don't get it. He's been here in the league 14 years, and he's proved every single year that he is a top 5 quarterback, but we all write him off for some reason. I've never gotten it. Long story short, Chiefs are going to beat the Colts. Chiefs are going to beat the Colts and remain undefeated. Next, Monday Night Football. This is going to be an interesting game. Browns versus 49ers. 49ers remain the only undefeated team in the NFC and one of 3 undefeated teams in the league. Them, obviously, Patriots, and Chiefs. This 49ers defense has done a 180 from last year. Last year, they were not able to get a turnover to save their life, and now they're one of the best teams at getting turnovers. This Browns D-line is amazing. This Browns D-line is stout at every single position, and it just looks spectacular. Their offensive line, on the other hand, is the complete and utter opposite. Like I said last week, getting rid of Kevin Zeitler did nothing to help Baker Mayfield. Absolutely nothing. You get rid of Kevin Zeitler and you add a receiver. That's cool and all, but no quarterback in the league can prosper without an O-line. It's physically impossible. It's physically impossible. I want you to go look at every single Patriots team. Every Patriots team that has either made or won the Super Bowl, and tell me if any of them had a below average to below top 15 O-line in the league. Every time they won the Super Bowl, that O-line was one of the best in the league. Why? Because Belichick is a genius and he knows how to run a team, knows how important offensive line is. In the NFL, you need about 5 or 6 things to win a Super Bowl, or at least to be a playoff team year in, year out. Good O-line, good D-line, quarterback, head coach, a locker room that is sane, and one skill position. That is what you need to be a playoff team, game in and game out. Year in and year out. The Browns have a lot of that. They have a lot of that. They have a quarterback. Like I said, I predicted him to be MVP. Is it biting me in the ass right now? Quite a bit. O-line? No. D-line? Definitely. Skill position? Absolutely. Absolute. Jarvis Landry, Odell Beckham Jr., Nick Chubb, Kareem Punt when he gets back. That team is stacked. Coaches, we have to wait for Freddie Kitchens. But the locker room has been holding up a lot better than I thought they would with Odell Beckham Jr. Like I have said it from the first outbreak I've ever seen. This kid is not going to be good in the locker room. Have it been proven right? Time in and time out. This year, I don't know. Jarvis Landry must be doing an amazing job. Because I have not heard anything really from Odell besides the watch thing, and him possibly getting choked out by Marlon Humphreys. But we're not going to talk about that right now. That's another video. In the end, though, I think I'm going to go with the Browns here. I think the Browns are going to end the undefeated streak of the 49ers. I think they're going to ride on the momentum from the Ravens game. It's going to be a good game. It's going to be an exceptional Monday night game. But I want it rolling with the Browns, Baker Mayfield. versus Jimmy Garoppolo and the 49ers. That's all for this week. Like I said, I'm still trying to get a hold of my picks that I've been using in my other non-pick league because I lost the records. I lost my picks from that one week I didn't do a video. So I'm just trying to tally all those out. I'm going to get that out as soon as possible, like I said last week. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.